Good morning to you. For Telesur, I'm Regan Devines in Caracas, Venezuela. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to our morning news program. Our top story today takes us to Brazil. Following the defeat of anti-government protesters in their attempt to make a show of strength over the weekend, the ruling Workers' Party, or PT, announced that they would respond to these actions. Now, the national lead of the PT, Rui Falcao, said that coup attempts require the immediate reaction of the ruling administration. He said government supporters will take to the streets this Thursday to rally against those who wish to interrupt the democratically elected government of President Rousseff, who recently vowed to continue working in favor of the country's majorities.
The same partnership that promoted and guaranteed our achievements over the past 4 years is the one that will guide my government until 2018.
In Ecuador, a French-Brazilian academic accused of involvement in violent anti-government protests has been spared deportation. A judge rejected the government's deportation request for Manuela Pique. She was detained last week in Quito after allegedly participating in protests that turned violent. The protesters had launched Molotov cocktails and attacked police in the streets, injuring close to 100. The incident led to the Foreign Ministry cancelling Pique's cultural exchange visa.
The procedure to annul the cancellation of the visa will continue. That is the second step. At least now I am free, and I will not be kept in a detention center.
We continue in Ecuador. The government has warned that as many as 325,000 people could be affected if the Cotopaxi volcano erupts. Visible from the capital Quito, Cotopaxi has been increasingly active in recent weeks, but authorities still assure a large eruption remains unlikely. If the volcano does erupt, the government says nearby towns could be threatened by mudslides and flooding caused by glacial melting.
In Cotopaxi province, we have around 110,000 people. In Pichincha province, because of mobility, between 80,000 and 200,000 people. And in Napo province, about 15,000 people. These could be affected by the volcanic mudflow. Obviously, if there was an eruption, in terms of ash, the affected population would depend on the winds.
Moving to Chile now, where the head of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, Saeb Erekat, issued a renewed call for the international community to pressure Israel to release Palestinian political prisoners. The plea was issued on the last day of Erekat's 4-day tour of Chile. During his time there, he met with Chilean President Michelle Bachelet and praised the government for its support of Palestinian statehood.
We appreciated the fact that Chile recognized the state of Palestine and stands tall for supporting and insisting that a solution is 2 states on the 1967 lines.
Also in Chile, the government launched a new special unit within the military to help investigate allegations of human rights abuses dating back to the regime of Augusto Pinochet. Between 1973 and 1990, Pinochet's regime killed and disappeared over 3,000 people. Decades later, judges and prosecutors say many Pinochet-era human rights abusers continue to be protected by pacts of silence between soldiers.
We criminal judges committed by various persons. We criminal judges are used to elucidate silence pacts. When a crime was committed by various persons, they could come in with different versions. With the moment we confront them, these silence pacts are simply ended. So I find positive that there is a will to eliminate, if they exist, these sort of obstacles.
Almost 1 year has gone by since that tragic September 26th incident in which the 43 Ayotzinapa students were brutally attacked and then forcibly disappeared. And there is yet to be clarity as to what has happened. Instead, the Mexican government has lost important evidence. This, according to OAS human rights experts. They denounced that the government blocked them from interviewing soldiers who would be key witnesses. The experts also said that their investigations failed to confirm the official version of the events almost 11 months ago.
We have special concern for loss of evidence in the case. We have informed the authorities of the Attorney General's office about the existence, at the time, of a video recording at the scene of police intervention that led to the disappearance of a group of students.
The Organization of American States has also sent a team to Honduras. The objective is to promote a dialogue between the government and the opposition to end the political crisis that has the country submerged in protests. Demanding the resignation of President Hernandez. Our correspondent Gerardo Torres is there.
The outrage movement in Honduras, or the Indignados, met with John Beale, who represents the Organization of American States and who is trying to set up a dialogue between the government and the opposition. The position of the Indignados was the same as other political forces before them. They won't accept the dialogue until an international anti-impunity commission is created to investigate corruption cases involving the government.
While we don't have a serious answer or a real dialogue proposal, we can't give any information to the OAS. We believe they are acting with a good will, but we will see. The CICIH has to come because we don't trust in any of the government institutions, the Supreme Court, the General Prosecutor's Office, the Electoral Tribunal, the National Congress, and the presidency have no independence. Whatever the president wants, it's done, and that is why we don't trust this.
President Juan Hernandez has admitted that during his political campaign in 2013, he received checks from companies that embezzled the Social Security Institute during the previous government of Porfirio Lobo Sosa for more than $350 million. There has been no investigation against the president or any other public officials that received part of these funds. For the political opposition, until this is clarified, it is a mistake to participate in the OAS dialogue.
The problem of attending these meetings is that you validate them. You validate the dialogue in front of the press, and the publicity is what we have accepted to dialogue with the president, and I believe that until what we demand is listened to, we should sit down with the OAS or with the government. We have to respect ourselves, because if we don't, we could lose all this process and struggle that we have created in the streets.
The OAS is trying to convince the opposition to join the dialogue, but for the opposition, the demands for international investigation in the corruption cases has to come first in solving the current political crisis. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
And now a brief of other major stories breaking news around the world.
Tensions were high in the Thai capital Bangkok after a bomb at a crowded shrine left 22 people dead and at least 120 injured. Officials said 9 foreigners were among the fatal victims. Police were looking for a suspect seen on closed-circuit television footage near the Erawan shrine. Nobody has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. Tensions increased hours later when another small explosive was thrown from a bridge over a river. Nobody was injured. Police do not know yet if the second explosion is linked to the first.
In our country, there are individuals and groups of individuals who are seeking to destroy the country. The ongoing attempts of destruction are politically motivated, targeting the economy, tourism, for whatever reason. The government will work to find these perpetrators and bring justice upon any networks involved as soon as possible.
Only hours ago in Indonesia, rescuers said that after an exhaustive search for survivors, they could affirm nobody survived the Trigana Airlines plane crash in the remote forests of Papua. They said the bodies of all 54 people on board the flight has been recovered. It took rescuers 2 full days to complete their mission. Authorities also say they found the black box and it would soon be analyzed to determine the causes of the accident. Officials said the condition of the bodies suggests the plane came down hard.
It's not right to talk about the condition of the bodies here in this news conference. Everything is in pieces.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's attempt to stage a comeback in Sri Lanka's general election has ended in defeat. This has been confirmed as results show the alliance that toppled him making decisive gains. The ruling United National Party was likely to fall just short of an outright majority, but Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe should still command enough support to form a stable government. Rajapaksa conceded defeat.
My dream of becoming Prime Minister has faded away. I am conceding. We have lost a good fight.
In the port city of Tianjin, China, bodies continue to be recovered from the debris left behind by two powerful explosions that rocked the city and left 114 people dead. Rescue teams are still searching for more than 60 people that remain missing. Most of them are firefighters. Over 700 people were injured and more than 6,300 lost their homes in the tragedy. Investigators were still searching for clues to determine the causes of the explosions of the chemical warehouse. In the meantime, memorial services were held to pay tribute to the victims.
Thanks to our news team in Quito for presenting the world news. We'll try to end on a lighter note now. Legendary musician Stevie Wonder wrapped up his day of promotional surprise concerts in Central Park in New York. Wonder announced that 20 more concerts have been added to his tour, called the Sounds in the Key of Life Performance Tour. To promote the new dates, the artist staged 3 free pop-up concerts in one day. He performed in Washington, D.C. in the morning, Philadelphia in the afternoon, and ended the run in New York in the evening. Wonder, now 65, holds the distinction of having won 25 Grammy Awards, more than any other artist.
I really believe, honestly, at this point, that men, men have kind of been getting it kind of wrong, That ego has been kind of out of control. And so maybe we need a woman to really run this thing.
He doesn't age a bit, does he? For more on these and other stories, please visit our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Regan Devines. We'll have another news brief for you at midday.